What's up, everybody? It's your girl Kiwan, and I am back with Tyler Perry's Sisters Season 9, Episode 13 on my own. Y'all, before I start, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Click the notification bell button so you can be updated on every video I drop. Y'all make sure you like the video so I can stay in the algorithm, alright? Let's just delve on in because y'all remember last episode, Karen called Fatima and then the episode went off. So we start the episode where the girls are talking to the police officer. We find out Miss Lisa went and filed the missing person report. And then we jump back into the scene where Karen called Fatima and she tells Fatima, listen, I can't tell you where I'm at. Please don't tell anybody. I'm using somebody's phone. Please text the address. I'll text you the address and I need you to come along. Which I'm glad Karen called somebody. I'm just still trying to figure out the pettiness in me. Wants to figure out, girl, you really remember Fatima number? Like, Karen, I knew you like Fatima somewhere under all of that. Anyway, Fatima calls Zach and because she came downstairs, Zach wasn't there, so she's looking for Zach. So she called him, he picked up the phone. He still got a nasty ass, stupid ass, raggedy ass attitude. And so he tells her, Karen is missing. Everybody's looking for her. Miss Lisa filed a missing persons report. Everybody's worried about her. She left a cryptic note, so now everybody's thinking the worst. So he asked, hey, have you heard from Karen? Has she stopped by? And Fatima was like, no. So, after they hung up, Fatima did not disclose to him that Karen called, because if she wanted him to know, she would have called. Because I'm sure, as she knows Fatima number by heart, I'm sure she knows Zachary's number by heart as well. But that's neither here nor there. So Fatima hangs up the phone, goes out the door to go to Karen. So Zach, we find that Karen goes to a woman. She went to a women's support group, and it's a place called Forever Grace Circle. And y'all know I've been screaming, get her some help. This was the turn of events that we kind of need. It also left me with some questions too, but we'll get there in the end. So Fatima's standing outside listening to Karen, and Karen was sharing with the ladies that she doesn't feel herself. These are things that she's experiencing in grief, trauma, losing a baby, and still dealing with the postpartum depression of it all. But I think this is more like a grief group, which she really needs. And I think the word forever was like, okay, God, okay, I get it. So Fatima, the meeting is over. Fatima goes to sit down. She hugs Karen, and she asks Karen, what is this place? She tells her, this was my lifeline. And I believe her. So Karen tells Fatima how everything is still, still the same mentally for her. She said she found this place online, and it's for women who had lost a child. And although Fatima cannot relate with her, I like the reason why she called Fatima. So Brenda comes back in, who is the group's facilitator. She is the person who created the group, and she's also the facilitator. So Brenda invites Karen back. She was like, you know what? You're welcome to come back. And she also tells Fatima, you're welcome to join, because it's good when the person who needs the support has support behind them. So I was just wondering, just my question, wheels churning, will this be a shift in their friend group? Because y'all know Andy I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with Andrea. Maybe Andrea has tapped in. Maybe we have met Andy far too long, and now in season 9 we finally get Andrea. Anyway, Fatima tells her, everybody's looking for you. Karen said, she was like, oh my God, she didn't know that. And so Fatima tells her, you left a note, about you ending it all. And Karen lets Fatima know, oh my God, I was really just writing my thoughts to myself. I didn't want anybody to read that. It wasn't for them to read. So everybody, Fatima's like, okay, but Fatima also lets her know, hey, you can't leave note, if you leave a note like that and people read it, what do you expect? Like, what do you expect from them? How do you expect their reaction to be? And so Karen, she took it to the chin. She wasn't tripping. So Karen asked Fatima, just sit with me for a minute before, because she knew once she go back around all of them, it was going to be something. So I just want to point out how I'm glad Karen has finally chosen herself. I think it was, you know what? I'll let y'all know my thoughts in the end. Everyone is still sitting at Karen's house. They're hopeful. They're just sitting around waiting for Karen to show up. Mind you, it is still the middle of the night and everybody's waiting for Karen. So Zach, everybody kind of dispersed at this moment, but they still in the house. Somebody's outside. They just in different places. So Zach is still a little inebriated, and Danny tells him, you look like shit. And he tells Danny that Fatima have him sleeping on the couch. And of course, Danny was like, well, what the hell did you do? He said, well, I called her a groupie. Her boyfriend showed, did she tell you that the basketball player showed up? And it was just a whole lot of nothing. So Danny reminds Zach that Fatima is a good one. And she also reminds Zach that Fatima loves him and that you should focus on that. So Pam comes over, and when she walked in the door, Pam was like, oh, it's just you. And so they asking Pam, like grilling Pam, hey, did she show up at the job? Was she with any of her employees? Pam was like, was she with any one of her clients or employees? Pam was like, listen, her clients don't like her. Her employees don't like her. I'm the only one that actually likes her. And I was like, okay, Pam, we can actually understand that Pam and Danny can give us comic relief, especially at the wrong time. Anyway, Karen tells Fatima, if she was surprised that I called her, if you're surprised that I called you, Fatima said yes. She said it definitely gave setup because me and you got a little history. So Karen said, yeah, we've been a little rocky over the years, and I'm looking at Karen like, girl, you was the rock, okay? You was the rock. Okay, you put the Y in Rocky. Okay, so I'm just saying, y'all. I'm glad Karen getting help, but I'm just saying, okay, you was the reason why y'all relationship was rocky. All right. So Fatima asked Karen, why me, and why not one of the girls. Karen tells her that even though they have their stuff, they're back and forward, you're not judgmental, and that's the type of energy I needed tonight. And again, the very thing Karen said that her friends were, that is what was happening in the next scene. So Fatima asked Karen, hey, what's going on? Karen said sometimes, I could be angry, I could be sad, lost. She said she don't even know. And she said sometimes she feels numb. And she said, but the thing is, I have everybody around me. still feel numb. And it happens again: depression, grief, anger, trauma, losing a kid, having a baby, postpartum. It's a lot to take in, and none of them understand, even Fatima. But Fatima never put herself in her shoes. Fatima just was like, okay, what do you need from me? Basically. So Fatima lets her know, hey, this is a heavy load for you to carry by yourself, and you shouldn't have to carry it all by yourself. Karen said this is probably why God led her to the group. Again, we noticed that she didn't say, everybody. She just realized that everything she's doing, God is leading her. And I remember when she had first met the preacher, she wasn't talking like that or nothing like that. So I'm glad that everything in Karen is like really shifting right now. She really needs it. So Karen feel like the ladies at the group would understand her more than her friend group would. And I agree, because again, they're there because they lost somebody they love. And I think the other ladies will understand, but not like the ladies that are in the group. Like it's different. And so Karen and Fatima, we get to the next scene where Karen and Fatima walk in a house. Aaron asked if she was okay and just immediately grabbed the baby. Like, he was like, hey, are you okay? Are you sure? Yada, yada, yada. Then he grabbed the baby. And I don't think he meant to be rude. I think Aaron was so concerned that he didn't know what was happening, and she took the baby, no call, no nothing. And so I get it. It was more like I feel like it was more of a protective thing. So Zach, of course, he's pissed off at Fatima because you didn't call me. Doesn't matter. Karen is here now. Karen is here. You couldn't go get her because you're drunk. You can't even drive. Anyway, Pam told Karen, I knew you were all right. You just needed a drink, huh? And again, Pam just brings the comic relief. So Sabrina, it was okay. So let me say this. As they are asking her if she's okay, a woman who just had a baby, which I knew what she did was scare them. I get that. But it was their judgment and how they were questioning her. Sabrina was like, where were you? Because you left us a note. It was just there. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping, but y'all, it was just a tone when I got from all of the ladies. So Sabrina was like, where were you? Because, you just left them a note. And Karen tells them, listen, that was my thoughts. That note wasn't for anybody. It wasn't for y'all to read. Nobody was even supposed to see the note. So she tells them about the support group because, she said the support group was basically the pull for her to get the help that she needed. Nobody's listening. Like, I feel like they hear her, but they're so frustrated. And I don't know if they're frustrated because they've been up all night and she's okay. But at the same time, the lady went to go get help. So when you are dealing with like sometimes you just don't know. And when you're having a moment, it doesn't have a time or a date on it. It doesn't. So Andy tells her, you left us confused and terrified to go to a group meeting. Baby, when I tell you Andrea and her Bob will not stress me out the rest of this season. She need to be snatched by that middle part, because that heifer is working on all of my nerves. I get that y'all angry, but can y'all hold that part? Anyway, Karen looks at Andy and said, I don't expect you to understand. And she doesn't. So Lisa tells her, you left in such a hurry. And her mom was the only one who had, like, I mean, they had understanding, but it was like her mom was just being her mom. She said, you know, you left in a hurry. Karen was like, I was spiraling, and she left to go see Dr. Vaughn. Dr. Vaughn gave her the pamphlet, and then, you know, she went and found the place, and she said she felt like an angel was leading her there. Now, this whole time, again, maybe I'm interpreting these scenes incorrectly, but it feels like they are not hearing her. You know, the fact that she went to go get help. Yeah, again, in the manner in which she did it was a little off, but again, the lady had to go get help. If it's my friend up at 1:00 in the morning, I'm, you know, went go seek some type of help, and the way I would be like, hey friend, what do you need? I'm not finna sit here and scold you and ask you all of these questions. I'm just going to be there. Anyway, she apologizes to everyone and tell Andy, you know, you're busy with your case and everything. She tells Danny, you know, sometimes you can be a bit aggressive I'm assuming, in her approach. And she tells Sabrina, you know, hey, sometimes you're way too kumbaya. And Pam, baby, Pam just don't have nothing to give. She just don't give a damn, and that is okay. Okay? So she said she just wanted to be around some women who can actually relate. And again, I'm not mad at that. So Karen tells them, you know, I called Fatima, and the way Zach was looking, and Andy takes this moment once again to kind of be off-putting in a way she was talking to Karen, but it was almost like, you're my friend, why did you call her? And it was just the way Andy's disposition was. So she told Karen, you know, if you would have called one of us, we would have picked you up. And it's just like, it must be something going on with that middle part, because sister girl tripping. I don't know what happened, but whatever happened that night changed her, and it's now let me say this. I think she's angry about what happened that night with the shoot pow of it all, and, you know, the kidnapping of it all, and she wants to take it out on somebody. She wants to get all of this frustration out. So I feel like part of her is getting this frustration out on her, you know, it's going to show up in her friend group, and she's getting her frustration out through Fatima. I don't like it, because there is a way to handle your stuff. So Karen tells them, you know, her and Fatima gotten closer, and she trusts her. And the way Andy's face it was like, you can now clearly see. Like, I think at first we was just like, okay, Hayden is tripping because, you know, that girl, clearly, because they friends. But now it's giving more than jealous. And for me, it's giving, I'm some way pissed off at Fatima. I don't know why I'm pissed off at her, but I'm pissed off at her. Like, it's like, I don't know. She talks at Fatima. It's just, Andy just has this disposition out, and it's not just Fatima. It was how she was talking to Danny. It's, you know, it's how she talked to Karen tonight. Again, ever since everything happened, something has changed in her, but it's showing up very poorly because her attitude is poor. You know, instead of her, again, getting the help she needs, you're trying to put this front up like you're just so strong. I don't know. So Karen asked Andy, you know, to contact the ladies from her support group. And she was looking like, why would I do, you know, what did she say? Why would I do, I mean, something. I think she said, why would I do that? And so when Karen told her, because two of the women were Dr. Cruz's patients, her whole tone changed. But you haven't even discussed with Karen that you can't even work on this case anymore, and you keep trying to go to Benson, or was it Benson, to change his mind. And again, he's not listening. He brought on Dr. Cruz as a client. So maybe I'm not understanding with the writers, but it's aggravating me because you're willfully choosing to be obtuse in this entire situation. So again, I get what Andy wants to do, but if it's that much, maybe you should start your own firm. Maybe you should have like a firm that's dedicated solely to women, malpractice suits. You take clients who have malpractice suits against physicians or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, Fatima said that, she's not going to pretend. She hugs Karen. She was like, hey, I'm headed out. And so she hugs Karen and said, I'm not going to pretend you didn't know my number by heart. I was like, well, we all not going to pretend that. So Karen apologized to everybody. Is gone at this point. Karen apologizes to Aaron. He tells her, hey, basically, you're not by yourself in this. And I do think that we need to shine a light more on Aaron, because at the end of the day, he's hurting. And I get that Zach has checked on him. It feels like Zach is the only person that's checking on him, because we went to the doctor, like, everything happened at the hospital. And they get home. Karen is in his depressive state. So now he has to be the main supporter in their relationship right now, because Karen is emotionally tapped out. And now he's worried that something could have happened to her and the baby. Their return is safe. So now Aaron needs something too. He needs some emotional support as well. Karen can't give that to him right now. He can't. So now it's like Aaron has to hold on a little while longer, so Karen won't break. So I don't know. I just Anyway, we get over to Danny's house. Tony is there asking her about moving in. She says she'll think about it, instead of her just saying no, which is really pissing me off, because why is Tony around? He's just around at this point. There is no storyline for him. There is nothing for him. He needs to pack it up and go with them badass kids. Anyway, and go be with his wife. She like him. Go with them. Zach it's the next morning. Zach is he's standing at the refrigerator like he's been up all night, just pissy. And that same spot he was in, that's the same spot Aaron was in. I had noticed that they were in the same spot, different areas of their homes, but they both were standing in front of a refrigerator, I want to say. Just pointing that out. So Zach want to talk to Fatima. They end up arguing. She was like, why are you pressed that I didn't tell you? Like, why are you so pressed? They argue. She was like, I don't have time for this shit, and she left. Sabrina calls Danny, and we find out Danny's hair is falling out because she's stressed out because that nigga there, because she won't tell that nigga to leave, which is crazy to me. Danny tells Sabrina, listen, I want to come get all of my money out of the bank so I can put it under my mattress. And I just think that's a dumb thing to do. I don't know if her cousin's going to come in. Maybe her cousin will steal it. I don't know, but there's something shifty about that cousin. And she told Sabrina to leave her cousin alone. She know her cousin, but that damn Sabrina, she don't listen. Danny was like, I'm just tired of, they talk about Andy at this moment. She says she just tired of fake friends. And she also talks about how she doesn't want Tony to be at her house. Anyway, Sabrina walks, out of her office at the bank. She tells Maurice, Karen went missing. He don't give a damn about that. He just thought that Sabrina had blown her back out, and he wanted to let Sabrina know that he's been integrated by Paige's brother and he is in a chokehold and he thinks he's pregnant. Again, we need something more serious with Maurice. Anyway, Sabrina, stupid ass, tells Maurice Rock is Danny's cousin, and she don't want, at this point, she doesn't want to listen to Danny. She asks, what should she do? The mere fact that you have to ask what should you do is you have already made a decision that you're going to continue to rock. You just want somebody to say yes. That's all that is. So we get to the law office. Fatima goes into Andy's office, grab papers from her. It's a weird energy between them that they never shared, but they're sharing it now. So Fatima was getting ready to walk out the office. Andy stops her and tells her, Karen called you out of the blue and just asked you to pick her up, and you did. And I'm just like, well, Andy, what was she supposed to do? What would you have wanted her to do? Call you? She didn't call you. She didn't want you there. I feel like also this is a pissing contest for Andy as it relates to Fatima. The contracts were done. They wanted Fatima. They didn't want me. It was supposed to be me doing it. My best friend didn't call me. She called you. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and give this jealousy. I usually don't like using that word, but I'm gonna go ahead and give it that. So Fatima says she thought it was a trap, but she was like, I guess Karen was comfortable. So I see as Andy's, saying things, Fatima is taking this moment to kind of let me diffuse this, because Fatima had this look on her face when Andy did ask that question, like, bitch, what? And I think she's just trying. She's doing an amazing job at not going off as Fatima would do. Andy said it was so unexpected. And Fatima was like, you know what? I understand that. That's fine. Just call me whenever you're ready for me to order your lunch. And she left out of the office. So Karen gets up. She goes into the kitchen. Aaron is standing in the kitchen. And he tells her, you should have told me. Karen said, I felt alone. And nobody, I think everybody's annoying me because everybody keeps making it about them. Somehow, some way, somebody's making it about them. I get what Aaron is saying. But the help that she needed, she had to find her own way. You can't always, a person has to find their own way. She said she felt alone. And again, you can have all the people around you, but when you're in it, like when you're in the thick of it, you still feel like you're by yourself. Because in reality, when you're dealing with it by yourself. So she says she don't know how to fix it. And he's asking her to let him in. And I think that's going to take, once she get to a real good healing space, then she will let him in. But for now, I don't think right now she has the mental capacity to do so. He asked Karen, what is it that she want? She says she want change. And so she lets him know that she's ready to leave Atlanta. And that's where the episode ended. So now we get a clip of next week's episode. And Rock walks into the bank. And Maurice was like, don't I know you somewhere? I'm going to say this. I think he know Rock from jail. Something went down. I don't know. I think he know Rock from jail. I'm not sure if he know Rock with the whole Q situation. I don't know. But we going to find out. Aaron, we see a clip of Aaron telling Karen picking up and leaving because she had a rough year is crazy. And it's like this. Yeah, we're going to have to really delve into that before I give my full opinion. But it was given for me, it was definitely giving off-putting to this lady's feelings. But I guess you can't just up and leave. We need to have a plan. There are things that need to be done, and you have a whole shop here. So again, I don't know. I don't know what that looks like. Anyway, Keys is back. That y'all remember, Keys was the older man that was at the barbershop. He tells Zach that he may know some tailors, and I'm just looking like, is that your daddy? That may not be Jeremiah's dad, but that daggone show might be your daddy. I think that that's his dad. I don't know what other storyline we can give Zach, but I want to say Zach said that he has never met his father. Anyway, the one of the ladies from the airport that works at the airport comes and talks to Danny about her job. I'm pretty sure, I don't even think Danny's gonna get fired. I honestly, crazy as this may sound, and as lazy as Danny is, it might be something crazy as them offering her Tony's position. Like, wouldn't that be crazy, y'all? Baby, when I tell y'all Leonard gonna piss and all over himself when he hears this, I don't think they gonna fire Danny. Cause if they would have a while back, but yeah, we're gonna explore this, and we also want to figure out what is happening with this case. What is happening with this case and with the Dr. Cruz case, and will Fatima and Andy get in trouble behind this? Mainly Andy, but we need to figure out what's really going on with Andy, why she's showing up in the way she's showing up. It just reeks of negativity. Like, you can show up strong, but this reeks of negativity. Anyway, y'all, tomorrow is Thursday. Something comes on tomorrow. I will be back, I think, Reasonable Doubt. So I'll be back tomorrow with Reasonable Doubt, since Latima has gone off, and I will not be reviewing the Housewives of Miami. I will see y'all tomorrow. Bye.